The benefits of being a professional golfer are huge. With this in mind, you might think, isn't it a bit ridiculous to title a video "The Dark Side of Being a Professional Golfer"? However, golfers are only human, and golfing life is not always the dream life everyone might imagine. Stay tuned for an insightful look into the reality of being a golfer on a pro tour. Have you ever considered how lonely it can sometimes be when you're an elite golfer? Staying in a nice hotel might not seem like a nightmare, but after the initial excitement wears off, most people prefer to have the comforts of home. In day-to-day life, many people use golf to strengthen relationships. However, due to the commitment needed to maintain a career in elite sport, this can definitely impact the time commitment you can give to the people you most care about. Moreover, coaching sessions, general practice, media commitment, and playing the tournaments themselves can expend a lot of mental and physical energy. And after this, you'll then head off to a hotel almost always alone, as pro players are very unlikely to be playing too close to home. At least with a normal 9-to-5 job, you can work all day but still find yourself in bed at night talking and laughing with your loved ones. And sure, you'll have a lot of people who admire you and want to take pictures with you. But keep in mind that as fruitful as the upsides of being a professional golfer are, all these benefits can be made to feel insignificant when you have made a mistake and can't feel any support from other people, making you feel lonely and longing for the warm embrace of your family. Having said all of this, it's generally regarded that elite athletes do have to make sacrifices, and they are naturally forced to come up with new ways to make their personal life fit around their golfing schedule. Stress and sleeping issues can also cripple the nerves or anxiety a player might have. After all, golf is practiced alone and it's an individual sport, so maintaining a sleep pattern can be troublesome too. This may be the reason that a lot of studies say that athletes develop mental issues throughout their sporting careers. Next, not everyone is Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy, or Phil Mickelson. If you're an elite golfer, your bad week might be faltering on a Sunday and picking up a $30,000 check as a consolation, as you are forced to watch one of your rivals hold the trophy high. However, it's important to remember that so many pro golfers dream of the day they can pick up a check for that amount, as it justifies their decision to continue their life as golf professionals. With the idea of a breakaway tour being touted, which could see pros being paid silly money, before we even get into the matter of prize money, it can be very easy to lock all professional golfers in together, but this would not be the right thing to do. Imagine having to travel the world knowing that your accommodation will only be covered if you have a good week. Now that's pressure. For the game's elite, this isn't an issue. Sponsorship, media work, etc. more than cover the cost, on top of their acquired wealth, but not all players have this luxury. Falling off the golf tour. Golfers trying their best to hold on to their golf cards couldn't be further removed from the glamour elite life you associate with the household names of the game. When you sit down to watch the conclusion of a thrilling tournament, how often have you thought, "I hope this player consolidates 10th position. It'll help him keep his tour card." Unless you're a golf fanatic, then chances are you've never had thoughts along those lines. Young prodigies dedicate so much to their golfing career, and there's always uncertainty between switching careers if a player doesn't make it through with their golf career. Young golfers are at risk of unemployment if their careers don't pay off, as they dedicate most of their time and energy to this one skill. As a young golfer, going on nationwide tours, let alone PGA, is a far-fetched dream. There are numerous stories of players borrowing money from well-off friends or looking to raise enough funds for their golfing aspirations, and this can leave some in very dark places. Next, dealing with the scrutiny of the media. The burden of expectation. Once golfers reach a high point in their career, they have to live up to the hype created by adoring fans and people around the world. Keeping up with the expectations of numerous people can be a heavy burden, even for top golfers. Not living up to set expectations from fans and the media can lead to risks that go beyond saving face. What comes with social media? Social media spreads information like wildfire, as most fans want to be a part of their favorite athlete's life. The privacy of golfers can be at stake with social media, as minor details about their lives become accessible to fans. This can lead to heavy scrutiny both internally from organizations and externally from fans and media. The constant pressure to perform. Golfers can be under pressure from fans and stakeholders to perform continuously at the top level. Fans may lose faith in their favorite stars if they're not performing as expected, which can damage their reputation. The constant pressure to perform can cause serious mental health risks for some golfers, judged over issues in which they have no control. Pro golfers are often treated like celebrities by fans and are prone to be judged over incidents they have no control over. Fans will judge their idols over trivial matters that would not be under a pro's control. These can be small things like not signing autographs or even not showing the right emotions for an incident. How many times have you seen a golfing or sporting star being labeled by someone who has never met them? Next, can't play golf forever. Even though we've talked about how golf can often be a lonely place and practice can become stale after a certain amount of time, what a lot of sportsmen struggle with is the thought of retirement and how they will best utilize their time when they retire. The great irony of this is that most people consider taking up or playing more golf when they retire. Thankfully, golfers can play a lot longer than in other sports, and with the wonders of modern sports science, they can play to a high standard, possibly into their late 40s. But one day, every man will have to accept that they can no longer compete at the highest level of the game. Most golfers know what they're going to do for the entire year. This consists of a tour schedule that involves touring the world, where they practice and play pro golf and have to fit a range of other commitments in, so they rarely have time to sit and contemplate their next moves. For a lot of men and women, this becomes an essential way in which they function. To go from this type of lifestyle to not knowing what your next steps are can be very challenging, and has proven to be so for many sportsmen. That's why sportsmen like the great Kobe Bryant always stress to other sports professionals the importance of planning for retirement. Thomas Bjorn has famously talked about his mental struggles of playing golf after he realized that it was very unlikely for him to realistically compete at the highest echelon of the game. He stated that when you are younger, you strive to get better, and it can be very hard to accept that your best days are behind you. It makes sense that it can be hard playing a game knowing that it's unrealistic to play the game to the standard you once did. Watching pro sport with a different perspective. We want to stress that no one is going to feel too sorry for golfers, but this wasn't the point of us making this video. In society today, we have this habit of grouping people together and presuming that everyone is alike. Touring can have some huge drawbacks, and not everyone is chasing the fame and admiration that being a golfing professional brings. Maybe the next time you're watching a professional tournament, it can also be interesting to take your attention away from the top of the leaderboard and see which player has had a life-changing week, even if they're not going to appear in the headlines. When Koepka and McIlroy are fighting it out to win a tournament on the PGA Tour, very little attention is given to the importance of the prize difference between finishing first and second, because they are already rich and everyone believes that they'll have many more days basking in glory. However, for some, that one paycheck can make or break their whole career, and that's arguably a lot more wholesome to see. While some golfers are making millions and don't have to worry about their livelihood, the reality is this just represents a small fraction of golfers who seek to play the game professionally, and this is understandably forgotten about with all the glitz and glamour that comes with professional sport. Thank you very much for watching this video about the potential downsides of being a golfing professional.